Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Akib bin Abdul Wahab. So for the subject of the HTH668 Hospitality Tourism Management, for the data analysis, I will cover about in the museum industry, which is a museum and art gallery, Bank Negara Malaysia. So this is a little bit of the background of the Museum of Negara, which is the museum is already established in 2007, integrates the finance and art, which is to educate the public. So it has a lot of features. They include six permanent galleries in the museum, and also emphasis on the financial literacy and cultural educations. So, of course, the museum also take a permanent exhibitions that can take visitor on the informative trip through the Malaysian monetary history and also make the financial history approachable and interesting by using the interactive exhibit, multimedia presentation, authentic item, and also the including the vintage coins, banknotes, and important records to make more interesting. So to promote the sustainable economic development in Malaysia and also raise a public financial awareness is also one of the Museum Negara roles. So we go to the analysis, which is using the pastel analysis, which is the external factor, the impact of the Museum Negara. So the first one is, of course, the first P is the political, which is cover the culture, diplomacy, and Asian unity. So, in the part of the political is to promote international culture variety and also cooperation with the understanding by enabling the countries to highlight their distinctive cultural legacy. So, basically, which is the political side can also inspire the visitor to interact with and understand exhibiting in their own unique way, creating a unique and significant experience to the visitor. So the second one is for E for the economy, which is in terms of tourism growth and also the strategic location of the Museum Bank Negara. So which is we can see the museum industry is growing trend of the historical and the cultural tourism. It has a lot of impact, which is increasing drawn to the museum because of the growing trend based on the historical and the culture also. So the next one, the S is social, which is the cover of the financial literacy, inclusive the education. So which is the role of social is the role of the museum is to raising the awareness to the public and the demand for the economic knowledge with the visitor. So it can be enhance the museum of the education roles. So the another when we talk about the social also, it can be looked at the international intangible heritage which is passed down to the future generations, and culture education is improved by the culture tourism. So basically, particularly through the museum. So for the T is technological, which is AR, augmented reality or VR, virtual reality, mobile application, and also digital tools. So it can be increase the accessibility, also the interest from the visitor, and the immersion of art and culture. So it can be transferred to the museum by as experience by the increasing of the accessibility, as I said earlier, so in the trade animations. So it can be, the museum can embrace the digital platform, which is enable anybody anywhere to view and enjoy their treasure whenever they choose. So it can also to show the visitor the interactive exhibits, and a school can use the interactive digital screen to give student interactive learning opportunities. So the next one is in the aspect of the legal L. So it is we can look at the public sector compliance and also the exhibition safety. So basically, the Royal Malaysia Police RMP and collaboration with the Bank Negara Malaysia, which is museum, is open the financial crime exhibition, which is a virtual exhibition So the exhibit display a lot of lists that many kind of financial crimes, which is the awareness for the visitor of the that occur in Malaysia, and it can show how they have a change over the time. So other than that, it can also display to the visitor to how to act out of scenario for of these financial scams. So last but not least is the E, which is environmental, which is the sustainable practices and the green educations. So we can see as how to sustain the museum to consume the less energy. So which is um, the museum can holding the exhibition about the climate change, the or environmental economics, or also a green finance, which is support the ESG, economic, social, and governance. So we look at the internal analysis, what have been offered by the Bank Negara Museum, or also the impact. So the first one, we can look at the resources, the museum resources, which is they have six galleries, free admission, no charge, and then also the prime location. The prime location, we can see that the museum is located at the heart of the Kuala Lumpur. So of course, the museum and Bank Negara Malaysia have four levels, which is the cover of the Children Gallery, Bank Negara Malaysia Gallery, Economics Gallery, Islamic Finance Gallery, Numismatic Gallery, and also Art Gallery that feature all of the variety of themes. So the next one is the capabilities and the core competency, which is it has been the museum has been a strong outreach, which is to promote the financial literacy program. So it can be planned the exhibitions, interactive exhibit, and a focus of the outreach program. So which is it can be targeted from the student to the working adults, which is the program that including the workshop, guided tours, and also the school collaborations. The next one is the visitor experience and the service quality. So which is the music is very family friendly and also need to be personalizations. So it can be comfortable experience to the visitor at the well-maintained museum. So of course, it can be for the well-maintained museum. It can be thanks to the well-organized exhibit, which is obvious signs and also the security measure. So the last is the digital infrastructure, which is the official website of the Negara Museum, and also a few of restricted online display, room for the immersive technology upgrades. So it can be give a user to access to some visual tools that let distant visitor to interact with a part of the museum contents. So for the part of the SWOT analysis, which is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats, so we look one by one, which is the strength is the Museum Bank of Negara, which is have a unique combination of art, history, and finance as well. So it can be an educational experience that is not often found in the other museum in Malaysia. So, for example, that they can show rare financial documents or pre-independence notes and also an antique coins. So, this is the strength of the Museum of Bank Negara. So, the next one is the weakness. The weakness of the Museum of Bank Negara, which is very low visibility and also it can be perceived as a formal uh, location, a formal museum. So of course, the museum has a little exposure in the popular travel marketing, which is to compare with the another popular attractions such as another museum that famous in Malaysia. And also we can see the Museum Bank Negara, which is too formal or academic due to its content, which is a very heavy exhibit and also a limited interactive features. So aside of the strengths and the weakness, we can look up at the opportunity that can be gained from the Museum Bank Negara, which is they can grow through the strategic partnership basically. So for example, they can collaborate with the tourism board like Tourism Malaysia and also the another educational institution like university or foreign school to join the initiative. For example, like the event Discover KL, Learning Through Culture might be for the example for the Benegara and can be it more as a list of the travel itineraries. So the next one is the treats. So of course, the Museum of Bank Negara have a treats that can impact internally, which is, for example, that as for now, for the current generation, they have a lot of a museum, which is, for example, the Illusion 3D Art Museum, which is a very famous in the KL, and can be made a trip for the Museum Bank Negara. So also as a part of the social media marketing and also the interactive experience that more attract young adults and family, which is making them for more Instagrammable and also can be shareable. So this is a kind of the SWOT analysis that can be found at the Bank Negara Malaysia. So last but not least, we can look at the strategic recommendation that can be applied by the Museum Bank Negara. For the first one is the rebranding with the modern or inclusive image, which is the museum can be repositioning the museum as a thriving center for the cultural learning with tradition, innovation, and also economic coverage should be the goal of the rebranding initiative. So this entails a changing the visual identity to reflect a more modern, hospitable, and also dynamic image. So the second one is the museum can improve the visitor experience, which is using the hospitality principle. So which is in the training in the customer service, multicultural awareness, and also the service excellence should be provided to all frontline employees, including the security, ticketing, and also the gallery guides. And also they can provide the multi-language support, which is in Bahasa Malaysia, English, or third language, for example, Mandarin and Tamil, in addition to cultivating a soft skill like empathy, active listening, and also the problem solving. So the third one is leverage immersive technology, which is with the self-guide audio tours, interactive map, exhibition highlight, and also the language of the selection tools can be a specialized mobile app, maybe the each visitor digital companion. So last but not least, which is the build strategic partnership. Of course, the Museum Bank Negara can form alliance with the Tourism Malaysia, which is to be able to participate in regional and national travel initiative like Visit Malaysia Year, which can be raised its profile among the both domestic and also the foreign travelers. So lastly, which is Museum Bank Negara can host a signature event and programs, for example, like seasonal exhibitions connected that can be significant to the national economic events. So we came out for the conclusion. We know that Banagara Museum hold a unique positioning and at the intersection of the culture and finance. So with a lot of strategic transformation, the museum can become a regional leader in the culture tourism, also in the financial educations. Also, we can look out at the museum also need to be proactively to rethink its brand identity and also the visitor interaction tactics to be competitive as another museum and to be relevant in this generation in order the environment which is the changing of culture and tourism. So of course the Museum Negara can be establishing the key alliance to be a part they are essential to become expansions. For example, like being a partnership with the public and also the private institution. Also, the another museum and the organization, like I said, Tourism Malaysia, can be increase the visibility of the Museum Negara. Also, can be encourage visitor and support joint development and in an aspect of the educational initiative. So that's all from me for the analysis that we can look out at the Museum Negara in the external factor or also in the filter factor, and then we can and also the SWOT by SWOT analysis and also a few of the strategic recommendation that can be applied by the Museum by Negara. So that's all from me. Thank you.